Okay, you're looking live at a radar image. This is a pretty prolific outbreak of tornado warnings that we're seeing across the area. I had just posted today about on Patreon and on Facebook about the threat of flash flooding and tornadoes. Not over. We got a bit of a break yesterday. But now we are seeing more activity because we are seeing the upper level low that was out there start to move to the east. Now we've got numerous warnings in effect. We've got three in Henry County. We've got one in Franklin County. These are in effect until 3:45, and the one down farthest to the south, north of Madison, is in effect until 4 o'clock. This is because we still have wind shear across the area, and we are still expecting more in the way of thunderstorm activity into the night tonight. Let's get right to Viper radar right now, and I'm going to switch you over to camera 1 and we'll look at that for you. This is a look at the damaging wind product and on top of the radar picture. So this gives you an idea of where, if there is a tornado or if we are seeing damaging winds, where they are. And I'll highlight a couple areas here. You can see that we do have this one area in the 220 right over the county line there. That is in Franklin County, or moving closer into Franklin County. And this is an area that typically sees tornadoes when we get down to it. There's another consolidated area just south of 58, and then there's another one just to the north of Madison and Mayodan. That's moving off to the north and to the east. And there are other cells out here that may develop. The winds are coming in out of the south again and out of the east, just like they did last week. And the winds aloft are coming in out of the southwest. And so that gives you the spin that you look for when you talk about tornadic activity. So we'll look at a few things here. I want to look at the velocity data. Looking at some updated images here. Let's go to our high resolution radar. And I've got that up on camera 7. So you can see everything blinking there. And boy, that's a lot to take in. We're going to kind of go through this and show you what's going on. So let's concentrate on this first cell. Looks like that one has weakened, but to me it doesn't look that, it doesn't like it weakened that much. This one in Franklin County is probably going to get another warning on it pretty soon because that's still some circulation there. You can see that's right along 220. There's no warning out officially from this, but I expect that to re-emerge as we go into the next few minutes here. So watch out, southern Franklin County, get into a safe place. Martinsville, you've got 2 tornado warnings and 2 others off to your southeast that look pretty impressive, and also this one coming in from Rockingham County, North Carolina, right over Mayo River State Park toward the Price area. You need to take shelter. That's a dangerous looking area of rotation. That's a pretty tight couplet, tighter than what we saw with the past storms that we had just the other day. We don't have a lot of wind aloft, but where we do have wind, it's overlapping at different directions. Also near the Axton area, this is just to the southwest of 58, right there near Irisburg. Let me call out this street here on 697. If I get a name for that, that's Barker Road between Irisburg and Boxwood in Henry County. You need to take shelter right now. This is going to be nearing Stockton, Axton, and Boxwood within the next few minutes or so. And now around the Martinsville area, right on the north and west side of Martinsburg near Jones Creek, near Villa Heights, Hoosley, and near Sova Health there. Unfortunately, we are seeing rotation, and if I move up a little bit, you can see it's near the Aldi, Commonwealth Boulevard, Swanson Street, Liberty Street as well. That'll be moving closer into Jones Creek here as it's doing so right now. We just had a latest scan come in. So this is live radar picture, Clearview Drive, Jones Creek, Edmond Street, and View Street in the path of this tornado, and that includes Route 174 as well. You can see they've got the polygon going up through northern Henry County near Figgsboro. I'd watch out too around Snow Creek on 890 there in Franklin County, because we still do have some rotation near in your area. This is an elongated area of rotation in Franklin County, but near Fork Mountain you could see a funnel cloud or a wall cloud very shortly. And so that's something that I'm watching as well. The warning that's out for southeast Henry County has been dropped just below the rotational danger there, but we still do have the tornado warning in effect until 4. for the other areas. As it's past 345 now, it's 346. So those two warnings that we had up earlier until 345 have diminished just a little bit. But this is still a serious situation going on for Ridgeway. You folks on 58, Spencer, Horse Pasture need to be taking shelter in a basement. We may be seeing a secondary area of rotation popping up here closer to 220. Let's see, this is in Rockingham County, Pawpaw Road, and getting on to Anglin Mill Road. Seeing that rotation there as well. So we'll zoom it back out. I've got power outages underneath all this so you can see that we still do have a few power outages in Franklin County. Let's see. I'm showing 2.3% without power. In Patrick County, there's some power outages as well. So some of this is from Helene. The other parts we are now seeing from this event. Perhaps. Tornado warnings reissued. I figured that would happen. I told you to watch out for that. So now just to the south of Rocky Mount, Franklin County, you are now under a tornado warning until 4:15. This is along 220. This is an area that's been hit by tornadoes before, so get into your basement. A bathroom will do it. If you don't have a basement, or a hallway, an interior room. Usually if you go into a bathroom and cover yourself with a mattress or pillow, you're going to be okay because the plumbing in the walls helps to stabilize that particular room. But if you can get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, you'll be safer if a tornado indeed develops. So we are seeing quite a bit of rotation there in Franklin County. This is going to move on towards Sontag. There's 619. There's the rec park. Of course, that area was hit back in 2019 in April by a tornado there. So no stranger to tornadoes. That was an EF3. We had an EF2 down in Dry Fork the other day, and now we've got 3 more warnings, so a total of 4 tornado warnings, just multiple tornado warnings. This blossomed up right at the heat of the day, and that's what we're looking at there. Send you back now to Viper radar, and I don't have any storm markers showing up just yet, but we do have this damaging wind potential here that we can show you. So I'm going to take the satellite down. I'm going to take the regular radar, make it kind of dim, and we're just going to look at the flash flooding potential. We're going to take out what we don't need to see and leave up what we want to look at here. So this is just looking at where there's rotation and where there's damaging wind. And you can see with that one tornado there, well, I need my warnings to pop up. Give me 1 second here. There we go. This is all near a warm front, and fronts, again, will increase rotation anytime you have a storm going across that. So let's look back at this particular map here, and we can look at the tornado and the rotation that we're seeing here. These brighter colors showing us where we do have cells with damaging straight line winds and or rotation. And I can spot just off the top of my head about 5 of them here. There's not a warning out for this one yet in Pennsylvania County, but this may also be issued very shortly because you've got the front here, you've got wind kind of coming in like this north of the front, and the wind to the south of the front is coming in more of a southerly direction. So right along that front is when you get the turning of the wind, and when you add an updraft to the mix, you'll get some tornadic activity. Moving into Franklin County real quick, let's name off some roads. We mentioned 220s in the danger zone from Cindersville up to Fork Mountain, but also State Route 608 heading up into parts of western Franklin County, and also going a little bit closer into Rocky Mount. The warning goes all the way through the 220 business ramp right up to South Main Street in Rocky Mount, but you are furthest away from that tornado right now if there is one. Flash flooding is a big deal across the Bassett area. You can see south of Philpott Lake we've got a moderate amount of flash flood potential here, and the damaging wind potential is still moderate. This is 58 in the Henry County right now. You're looking at it highlighting there. The green kind of jumps out at you. That's going to be near 58 in Old Liberty Drive near Fall Creek. And what is this area here? Pleasant Valley Church is really close to this. Mill Creek as well. It'll continue moving across 58 potentially, and may continue to move up toward Mountain Valley Road. That's for that one particular cell. The other cell is still moving out of Martinsville right now. You can see State Route 174 in the path of that. up near Little Beaver Creek, Barrows Mill Road. If you're in that area, you need to take shelter right now. If you have a mobile home, you need to get out of mobile homes and get into a ditch if you are in the path of this. If your phone went off, you're in the path. And those alerts come in over the radio network, not the cell phone network. So your phone will still alert you even though you don't have service, or if you're out of a coverage area, your phone will still pick that up. It's called a WEA alert, Wireless Emergency Alert. All right, so this cell moving in from Rockingham County is now moving very close to Ridgeway. So again, 220 is an area you don't want to be on right now, as well as 58. Anywhere on 58 in Henry County is a dangerous spot to be. Horse Pasture Price Road in the path of this as well. And again, you're watching the horse pasture area, the airport right up here. It's going to just go south of that, it looks like, but it's going to near Martinsville in the longer term. You've already got a cell over you right now, of course. Not seeing a whole lot of lightning with this. We're going to look now at our high-res radar picture here. And again, I don't see a lot of lightning, but this is the velocity data that I'm looking at. And I'm going to put a manual track on here. You can see these hook echoes whenever you look at Franklin County. When you see a curly-looking echo right there, that's a storm that's rotating. So you've got a downdraft coming in. You've got an inflow notch right there, and this whole storm is spinning, as is the one down across Henry County. I say the one, there's actually 3 of them, and could be 4. I'm going to go ahead and call Brosville because we see a hook echo here, and this is why I tell people to watch my stream, because I didn't become a meteorologist just to copy other people. I did it to do my own thing. So Brosville, you've got a hook echo, and you've got some rotation here. So there's probably going to be a warning issued very soon if that tightens up in southeast Pittsylvania County. You see that one crossing 58 in Henry County. It's got that curly shape to it. That is rotating. Still a defined hook echo on the north side of Martinsville heading into Henry County. And this one may have closed in on itself near Price and Ridgeway and Spencer, but all of these are moving up to the northeast right now. We'll go ahead and name off some of the alerts here and get some of these warnings out to you, but I did want to look at that. Let's see if we have any debris in the air. We do have some debris showing up in Franklin County, unfortunately. It's not well defined, but we do have a lowering in here, so there could be some leaves, trees, maybe even some shingles or debris from structures here popping up in Franklin County. It doesn't look well defined, but this one over Brosville sure does, and it's got a hook to it as well. It's got the changing in the wind that's causing it to show up there out of the yellow and out of the orange into the red. Where you don't see gray is where the winds are really varying a lot within that radar pixel. Also near the Stanton Laurel Park area, and you've got more of that correlating with that rotation there near Price and Ridgeway. So let's go back to the radar and check that out right now. You can still see those 4 warnings are in effect, and we're going to read those for you as I put this in motion so you can get an idea of what's going on with that motion there. So let's hit play. There you see them moving up to the north. So we're going to leave that up there. Franklin County is at the top of your screen. This is Henry County. And there you see Rockingham County going into Ridgeway. Tornado warning continues for Franklin County, south central Franklin County until 4:15. At 3:46, a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Oak Level or near Sidnersville, moving at 15 miles per hour to the northeast. Locations include Rocky Mount, Sidnersville, and Sontag. Take cover now. Move to a basement or interior room on the floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. You don't want to be near windows in this. You don't want to wait on these things either. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or vehicle, move to the closest possible shelter. Protect yourself from flying debris. That's the Franklin County one. Let's look now at the one that was over Martinsville. Tornado warning remains in effect until 4:15 for northeastern Henry County. That storm was located over Collinsville, kind of near Martinsville, although it's just passing Martinsville, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. Martinsville, Collinsville, Figsboro, Villa Heights, Leatherwood, and Oak Level, you need to take cover now. Now the warning that's out for areas to the east. This one's in effect for west central Pittsylvania County and east central Henry County. So Pittsylvania County, we mentioned, you are now in that tornado warning until 4:15. Axton, Sandy River, Leatherwood, Laurel Park, and Chatmoss, need to take shelter right now. And finally, the one out across Ridgeway, this one's in effect until 4 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm was located over Ayersville or near Stoneville. Stoneville, no stranger to tornadoes, moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. Spencer, Ridgeway, Horse Pasture, and Price, take shelter now. Zoom this out a little bit and show you what else is going on. We've got rain that's filling in here out across Franklin County. Some very heavy rain in the Patrick County as well. Now, I want to mention any one of these cells could be producing tornadoes because we do see rotation in this Patrick County area. There are 3 little small areas of rotation that I see right now. I'm going to highlight those for you. We don't have a warning out yet, but we may soon see one. There's one there near the Parkway, and then there's another one here just in southwest Patrick County. There's your one here, the Parkway. There's another one here, and then there's 2 or 3 others down here. So we've got rotation all over the place, and we've got a lot to monitor as we go into the afternoon and evening hours. If you're surprised by this, I would encourage you to follow my page. Even if you're not on Patreon, I still put the updates out for free, and then I give you extra on Patreon because this is such a dangerous setup. So you're not going to be surprised if you follow. Just follow the right source, basically, is what I'm kind of getting at here. So I'm going to track these things, get the movement on this. I don't like this cell across Roseville. I think that maybe that warning needs to come out a little farther east, but we'll continue to watch it here. These things are not really moving all that much. Every few minutes or so, it's only moved, gosh, only a couple miles. So if there is a tornado, it may sit there for a while, but sometimes they can speed on up once they develop. So about 15 miles per hour. Here's the storm relative velocity. That takes out the storm movement and just looks at the storm itself. You can see that notch right there in Pennsylvania County. So we need a warning out for this soon. Axton, that's where that tornado really is. One of them could be near Axton, also into Martinsville, just north of town, just past the Collinsville area. And now it's moving up toward the county line of Franklin. And this one in Franklin County still looks pretty busy to me. We'll check the debris on that. And we have just faint signs of debris. This is more than likely leaves that are being tossed up because of the strong wind in that area. Just had a new warning come out. That's for this same cell that was in Ridgeway. I'll read you the text from that. This is a new tornado warning until 4:30. The storm now, possible tornadoes over Price or near Spencer, moving to the northeast at 20 miles per hour. Martinsville, Ridgeway, Villa Heights, Horse Pasture, Chatmoss, and Collinsville, including the airport, need to take those shelters, get into your safe place right now. Lowest floor, away from windows, and in a closet if you can. These are dangerous storms. We're going to look at the rotational tracker here, and this is a quantifiable rotational signature. Okay, so the radar analysis here is going to show us where the storm was spinning over the past 60 minutes or so and what that intensity of the spin was. You can see the one in Franklin County had some strong spin with it between Oak Level and Stanleytown there in the red and the brighter yellow. That's some pretty decent spin. Weaker spin toward the Martinsville area, but still some strong spin with the Ridgeway tornado or possible tornado here coming out of northwest Rockingham County and down near Axton. And I mentioned that cell around Roseville. You can see the rotation here east of Sandy Level. There's no warning out for this cell just yet, but again, I think that will change here in just a second. So numerous tornado warnings are in effect. Take shelter right now as this continues to move through Franklin County, southern Franklin County, into Henry County. Right now, it's primarily the threat would be along and to the east of the Horse Pasture area. So Stanleytown and east, Spencer and east is under the gun for the tornadic activity. I'm not seeing anything now around Horse Pasture, although you had that earlier. Also watching some weak rotation here in through Floyd County, Patrick County, and other areas. So this is a serious situation as it continues to move through the area. When I show you the Storm Prediction Center maps here, I'll get to those. Let's first look real quick at this hook echo in Franklin County. Yeah, that's a well-defined hook that we're seeing there. We can also see the notches and the hooks there near Brosville. Again, I'm very concerned about this cell right here in Pittsylvania County. You need to treat that like a tornado warning, even though you're not officially in it. I'm seeing, definite signature there of some rotation. And on the storm relative velocity, you'll probably see a little bit of red contrasting with the brighter greens. And you can see that's more pronounced near Price and Ridgeway, southern Henry County, and it's still pronounced here north of Martinsville and north of Collinsville as well. Here's Viper radar, and it shows our damaging winds still holding together now. So 220 south of Rocky Mount, right there near 718, Route 718. Near Glendale, you want to be taking shelter. This includes the southern tip of Rocky Mount. You can see the rotational damaging wind threat, according to our exclusive Viper radar, still intact around Martinsville, although Martinsville right now is in the clear from this first one. The area that I'm watching right now is up near the Martinsville Reservoir and to Beaver Creek. But if you're in Martinsville, and especially on the southwest side of town, you've got another cell that's nearing you from Ridgeway, and that's coming right across Horse Pasture Price Road. So that's moving northeast as well. And now in the Pittsylvania County, again, this one cell's dying out, it looks like. That's the good news in eastern Henry County, but the stronger cells back in toward Brosville and Henry County, just north of 58 there. Get a couple more streets up here near Whispering Pines Road, and that has now updated. So let's see, it's a little weaker, but it's still hanging on. Medical Center Road, under the gun for that. That's in Pennsylvania County, so we've got tornado warnings out there as well. These are brightly colored damaging wind potential plots here that we've got. We've also got a flood watch that's in effect for the area through late tonight in the green areas. This is where we could see quite a bit of rainfall on the order of 1 to 3 inches, and maybe even more than that by the time we go into later on tonight. Back to our switcher here, we'll put our weather tap radar on so you can get kind of a different feel, maybe a cleaner feel. Let me put some city labels up here. So we'll go first to the one in Price. Again, this continues in place. That's a very intense looking storm. I don't know if I have any hail with this or not. I would say it's possible. I would say hail is possible with this. Sheffield Terrace, Lithia Springs, Ridgeway, Fontaine, Grassy Creek, Horse Pasture right on the edge of this warning. So I think you are probably okay for this cell unless it turns a little bit more to the north. Now, the other warning here is right near Hinesville and Vance, West Fork, Sharon, Stony Mill, near Bannister, Swansonsville. You need to be taking shelter, I think, on Route 41 north of Danville and west of Danville, and on 57 getting into Swanson's Mill and Cowens. I'm kind of calling out some locations out ahead of this thing. This tornado is near Soapstone, near Sandy River as well. All right, looking at Davis Store and Axton, we've got more of that tornadic activity, at least a couple of stronger cells. And also looking at the one nearing the Figsboro area, you folks in Snow Creek, heads up. This is east of Bassett Forks, but it's coming closer to the county line of Franklin, and that'll move into Snow Creek if it continues. Look at the hook echo around Sidnersville. Not a good sign when you see that. That's a danger signature right there. So we'll continue to watch these 4 tornadoes, or possible tornadoes, and we're going to look back to the west now. I don't want to leave out our Patrick County folks. You've got some intense cells that are starting to curl around Claudeville, Kipler, Vesta, and getting into Mayberry Mill right there on the Parkway. Tornadoes can affect the mountains, and they will in situations like this. Viper radar's got where we can see the hail if we need to, and you can see these purple areas showing us where we may have some hail, we may have some stronger winds in there as well. The brighter greens are heavier rainfall rates. We'll put a track on here, and we'll make this a little wider so we can make it more realistic. Rocky Mount, your time of arrival, let me get that on the screen here, would be in 24 minutes at 4:28. Henry Fork, 17 minutes at 4:21. Glade Hill, if it holds together, in 42 minutes at 4:46. And Redwood, also in 42 minutes at 4:46 p.m. That's the projection from Viper Radar. This second cell here that's down across Henry County, that one, we'll update that to 15 miles per hour. We'll make the width about 6 miles. And we'll put this on your screen as well. This one is near Fork Mountain, or will be near Fork Mountain in 19 minutes, around 4:23. Sidnersville there at 4:37. That's the second tornado. I think it's going to pass closer to Snow Creek. Henry Fork and Dickinson in there as well. See if I can get some progress there at 5:01. I know Snow Creek's in here, so I'd watch that around Snow Creek as well. 2 more cells to track. The one in Pittsylvania County, hey, it now has a warning. I gave you about a 10-minute jump on this one around Roseville on 58 in Pittsylvania County. That's just come out. We'll show you that too. This one's moving more north than anything else, but we'll put the track on for you. You can see Sandy River, Hinesville at 4:18, Swansonville at 4:48, Bannister at 4:52, Holly's Mill at 4:53, Grady at 4:55, Swanson's Mill at 4:57. Some of these areas I've already called out from the other storms. The most dangerous one right now that I see for Henry County is the one that's moving further into Ridgeway right now and about to move into 58 and getting closer to Martinsville. So we'll put some of these on your screen here. Glen Court at 4:23, Shannon Hills at 4:25, Sheffield Terrace 4:25, Marrowbone Heights at 4:26, Old Liberty at 4:41, Fontaine at 4:33, Chatmoss, Hilltop, Carlisle, Laurel Park, and Stockton between 4:43 and 4:59. That's going to be coming up if these cells hold together. I mentioned they're not moving all that fast, and so sometimes you will see these things cycle a bit, but they'll pick back up in intensity. The one in Stewart, in Franklin, or in Patrick County is getting a bit stronger right now. That's right near 58 in Lover's Leap. We'll put a track on that. And you can see that we do have some towns we can mention. There's no warning out for this yet, but look for it to come out any time now. Woolwine in 29 minutes at 4:36. The direction is off on this, so I'm going to change that real quick. I'll make that 25 degrees. That's about right. Okay, so there you see where I fixed the direction. And all right, so we've got Floyd at 5:01. Haycock 4:55, Sheeler's Mill at 4:46, Connors Grove at 4:21. Again, the one saving grace for some of us is that these are moving kind of slowly. The bad news is we're still seeing a flash flood potential in this area. This is the National Weather Service radar. Gives us a little more of an indicator of what's going on. We still do have cells around Halifax as well that are moving up to the north. The actual arrows are pointing more northwest, but I'm looking at a radar loop right now, and yeah, they are moving northwest. So let's move it. Look at this one. This is moving toward Ridgeway, Sign Rock, Chimney Store, and Paytonsburg. The other part of this cell moving near Acorn, Stovall, Melrose, Green Hill, and Cedar Forest. Take shelter, southern Franklin County, south of Rocky Mount. This is a dangerous cell. Let's go back to the high-res radar picture here. I want to show you the actual velocity data and some of this other data. These are pronounced areas of rotation, folks. This one now is just to the north and west of Ridgeway. We'll put a debris tracker on that. I don't see a lot of debris, but there is a lowering there. We may have some hail as well. That's what you're looking at here. This is heavy rain potential. very heavy tropical-like rain that's bending the radar beam, and that's why you see the green there. And we have a lot of wind in this as well. Here's the actual rotation. Take that off there so you can just see the rotation only, and it's nearing the Ridgeway area. So right here on the street, let's look at this. This is where you're going to see the most rotation crossing that area. I believe that's 57. It's heading down towards Ridgeway at maybe 220. So there's the interchange. Then you get into Martinsville right there. So there's your rotation highlighted there in the blue, going toward the radar, and the green going away from the radar right now. More rotation showing up. This is again in the countryside. That's the good news. There's a mountain here, but we have still people that live across this area. It's beautiful country out there. Turkey Cock Mountain into Franklin County and Snow Creek. You're in the zone for this. The rotation may be falling apart some in Franklin County. That's some good news, but sometimes these things will just cycle. Right now it looks more outflow driven to me, so that Franklin County cell may be weakening, although it's still packing quite a punch in terms of what's happening aloft, and I still do see some signature there for possible debris and possible rotation, although it's not quite as tight as what we're seeing down here across the Ridgeway area. That rotation's a bit tighter. And now in Pittsylvania County, I'd say this is the strongest cell right now. We'll pop that back up, and again, this is in effect until 4:30. It's going to be impacting Sandy River and Swansonsville. They've got it moving up to the northeast at 5 miles per hour, so very slow movement on that, but quite a bit of rotation there. You see it in the blue, and there are quite a bit of roads out through here that will be affected by this once it moves on through the area. So there's storm relative velocity, still pretty tight. Notice the one in Franklin County here has kind of a disorganized look to it. There's one area of rotation, and now there's a new area a little bit further in the Rocky Mountain. There's a satellite area of rotation that could be caused by the initial rotation off to the south, closer into Sidnersville. Still looking at a decent area of rotation crossing out of Henry County, Figsboro, about to cross into Franklin County and Snow Creek, just to the east of Stanleytown at Oak Level. And the one in Ridgeway still looks pretty impressive to me as it continues to update. I do see some faint debris showing up here. That's right there. Wherever you don't see cranberry colors is where there's some debris, and so we're watching that for the potential to cause some damage to structures as well. Serious situation. We were first to tell you about it, and we had the naysayers, as always, popping on. They come out of the woodwork when stuff gets shared around. They don't know any better though, so we'll turn the other cheek. Until 4:15 is the one for Franklin County. Again, I'll put a track on that and just kind of give you a general idea of where this is headed, up to the north and to the east. By around 5 o'clock or 5:06, it'll be near Redwood. So it's moving pretty slow. You've got about 15 to 25 minutes to take shelter near it. But this radar data is going to be a little bit delayed. So I'd even watch out around Smith Mountain Lake in time near Union Hall. Looking at the cell down here across northern Henry County now, that one is until 4:15. We've got another minute to go. It'll be interesting to see if these get extended anytime soon. And you can see it takes it about 23 minutes to get into Franklin County near Snow Creek. The tornado possible and radar indicated tornado warning here cell. Again, if we put a track on that, it's probably going to move on the south side of Martinsville. It's going to cross 220, and it's going to near 58 as well. And again, I've called out that area before. It's going to just graze Ridgeway, could hit Ridgeway right on if it is indeed on the ground. In the Pittsylvania County right now, we've got mainly countryside here, but a few locations you can see that's moving between 58. Just to get your bearings, Danville is down here. Danville right now is in the safe zone, but we do have numerous warnings that are out. So one of those warnings has expired, but we do have a new special weather statement in effect for the cell out in Halifax County. So we've got some Halifax County activity to watch. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Let me pull it up here, and we'll go to our other source. It's on camera 7. So the blinking areas are where we have tornado warnings. And again, we just looked at the three cells as 1, 2, and 3. One's in Pennsylvania County, west of Mount Herman, heading generally toward the Chatham area. Martinsville itself and Ridgeway under a tornado warning, and the southern end of Rocky Mount under a tornado warning as well. This is going to be nearing, again, possibly the Doe Run area of Franklin County, the Sontag area of Franklin County. There's 619 right now, so it's going to be very close to the park, very close to where the 2019 tornado was, maybe a little further north. And if it holds together, it would move right over Redwood and Glade Hill, although you're not in that warning just yet. The latest scan just came in from the National Weather Service radar through our Viper radar technology here, and it shows a disorganized area of rotation, so it's trying to fall apart, but we do have this one spot on the southern end of this near Sidnersville that's trying to redevelop. And I'm going to show you why these keep popping up here in just a second, but just to show you the one in Henry County. Now I want to show you the special weather statement out for Halifax County. That includes the edge of Halifax, the northern edge, Pleasant Grove, Vernon Hill, and Route 57 and 501, going up to Liberty and Crystal Hill. There was a little bit of rotation there, certainly a strong storm, some very heavy rain. It's pushing off to the northwest, which is interesting. So I'm thinking there's probably a low pressure system in here. And look at all these power outages for our poor folks back to the west that dealt with Helene and those winds. By the way, Helene went right up the front, and then it got stretched out. It did not curve, and this is not the remnants of Helene. That's a lie. It ingested the tropical moisture, but the actual circulation was diminished over our area. So it moved more north and west. It did not follow the hurricane center cone. They're trying to make the upper level low seem like it's the remnants. Either way, it doesn't matter because we are getting severe weather because of this. So I'm not going to get too particular about that, but I just wanted you to know. Echo tops, these are shallow storms. These are not tall in the atmosphere at all. Normally we see some yellow and orange popping up here, these darker blues showing us where the storms are only around 15,000 feet up. That's not high at all, about 16,000 feet. Very low tops, and that's what we see in tropical air anyway. We've got dew points. Let's see if I can get a dew point up here. Dew point of 70 in Blair's. Danville's got a dew point of 68, and we've got a dew point in Spencer of 67. Dew point's about 67 here at the house as well. I'm going to continue to watch lots of moisture, 71 now in Franklin County. So, yeah, there are some dew points to work with. The more dew points you have, the more energy you have to work with. We'll put all this in motion. You can see how everything developed. You can see the hook that developed over Ridgeway. Look at that right there near Price. And we'll put the correlation coefficient. You can see maybe a little debris getting in there as well. Zoom it back out and we'll show you more of what's happening there. Still watching the cell out across Halifax County near Volans. That's where the radar used to be, by the way. I think the actual dome is still there. Some of these roads are real windy, so don't go out chasing this thing. If you're in the special weather statement, you need to know that we could be seeing a tornado as well, because there are a lot of cells to deal with. There's a lot of wind shear. Any one of these cells in Stokes County and Surrey County going into Patrick County and Floyd County could start spinning at any moment. So we'll be watching that too. I do want to show you the wind shear. And this is from the Storm Prediction Center. So first going to look at wind shear. It's not going to be that impressive, only about 15 to 20 knots. But if I look at some of these better indicators here of potential tornadic development, the numbers aren't important as much as the values that are there, the placement. And you can see just a little bit of tornadic potential on that parameter. We'll look at the tilting and stretching parameter though. This has been very accurate today, and you can see that does include, these are the places that are seeing the tornadoes now. We'll overlay the radar and you can see it was pretty accurate here between 1 and 2 down through Carolina there, getting up into Roanoke, right up against Roanoke and into Campbell County and Lynchburg areas in the NRV as well, Floyd, Patrick County, down through Greensboro, just to the west of Raleigh, and going into North Carolina. And it's all because of this upper low. Let me pop it up here, and there you see the spin of the upper low, right? And we also have, let's see if I can make it a little smaller. So you've got wind that's kind of coming in around it, bringing up the moisture. And again, this is the low right through here. This is an upper low. And then what we've got going on is all this moisture. The wind's coming in like this. Actually brought in some drier air aloft if you look at the water vapor. And it's piling in that moisture here. That's why we're seeing the flooding potential. That's why we're seeing the energy as well, because this upper low has some divergence with it. It's got a jet stream streak with it. In the purples where the air is diverging. So let me show you that. This is where the air separates up in the sky. So this jet streak, when you're on this side of it, the winds are blowing faster here than they are here. And what happens is the wind's blowing too fast to maintain a straight line. So it'll curve this way. And it'll curve this way. Actually leaves this area without any air above it. So in the purple contours there, we have an absence of wind, and there's no wind at the top, and there's or less air at the top than there is below. The air will rise to meet that, and because we've got wind shear in place, that rising air does spin. That's a basic meteorology 101 synoptic pattern for you there. We've got a little bit of storm fuel. You don't need a lot of CAPE. CAPE is convective available potential energy. It can be as high as 3 or 4 to 5,000, but we've only got CAPEs of 500. That's why we say these southeast tornadoes that include Virginia now, we don't need a ton of CAPE. That's some very low CAPE. It's barely in the bold colors here. As we advance the forecast, it stays there in the low colors, but the fact that we've got the wind shear, low-level winds in red coming out of the south, upper-level winds there in the blue coming out of the southwest, showing us where we are seeing that activity. I'm going to hop off real fast here, give you one last look at Viper, because we do still see that heavier wind there coming into Rocky Mount. That's just crossing Route 619. And we've got a secondary area of wind redeveloping there near Sidnersville on 220. This is going to be nearing Doe Run very shortly here. So take shelter. I'm going to put out a couple more posts, and we'll take you back to the actual radar picture here and show you what's going on with that. So there you see the updated radar picture here. The amount of instability there is shown in blue up underneath all this. So that's what we're dealing with now. We'll put this in motion, and I'm going to widen it on out just to kind of show you how everything's been looking. So you can see the upper low is back out across here. We've got the surface low in that front that's causing the convergence, and it's enhancing the lift there. So that's the only game in town. We're in the worst area, actually. And you can see this green area showing heavy rainfall. That's where the Storm Prediction Center or the Weather Prediction Center is saying, hey, we could have some pretty bad flooding in this area as well. Here's another look at Viper radar, and again it shows the flood watch for Roanoke and Bedford County through tonight. Shows where that front is. Any of these storms across the front will be becoming tornadic or could become tornadic in a real quick hurry. Camera 3 showing you a clean version of the warnings until 4:45 now, just south of Rocky Mount. Excludes Ferrum now, so that's some good news, but another cell could develop. And we'll go ahead and put a track on this one again just to update you. Moving closer and closer into Route 40, but it may take an hour. It's taking its sweet time. Moving back out, we've got another small tornado warning near 58th there. And getting in the I-40 going into Pennsylvania County with time. And then you've got another warning out for the Martinsville Ridgeway area. Just missed a horse pasture. This one mainly on the south end of this polygon is where the main track is. That's going to take it close to 58 there in about 30 minutes or so by about 4:55. So I'm going to put out some still images because they sometimes get better traction in terms of warning people, and I'll jump back on. We do have a new tornado warning. This is the updated polygon that's out for that area. I believe that's the same one. So that's until 4:30. There it goes. So this now extends farther up. As I mentioned, it's farther up toward, I believe, it's 57 there. This would be Route 40, and this is 29. So heading up and down 29 out of Danville, as you move north out of Danville, the closer you get to Chatham, the more threat you have of seeing a tornado. So you folks in Chatham, go ahead and get in the basement, get down under a workbench or in a bathtub, and avoid those windows. Do not wait on these tornadoes. They're going to be very close to the ground because of all the moisture we have. They're going to be hard to find. Gretna to Chatham, take cover right now. Also in the Franklin County, south of Rocky Mount, take cover. And also in Martinsville, you want to be taking cover as well. I'm watching other cells. We'll see if they pop up as well. I'm going to jump back on with an update here in just a little bit. Stay safe.